All right. Carlos is here. What's going on? All right. I think I got this one streaming now. Let's see. Yeah, that one's working. Okay. Sorry, everybody. Let's talk about it again. I think I was just talking to myself for a couple minutes here. Now I think I'm live. Yo, what's going on? I apologize to everyone. I totally messed things up. It's not completely my fault, but then I also messed things up too. But still figuring out live streaming. I've done this how many times and I'm still figuring it out. But today is June 4th, 2020, a little after 3 o'clock here in Guttenberg, Iowa, coming to you from the basement. Awesome. It is Thursday. It's happy hour. Definitely can use a beer after kind of like the mix up today. I just went into the other live stream that I had set and scheduled. It had a really nice thumbnail to it and everything, I thought. And I set that one up. I let anyone know that the real one is over here, so everyone's coming in. Bert Legas is here, Josh Payne. Good to see everybody. Sorry about that. Stevie76 says, yo, what's going on, with a nice beer emoji. Brian Ferran says, hello from Ireland. Cheers, drinking IPA from Hope Brewery here in Dublin. That's awesome. That's interesting. I wonder how popular like the IPA style is over there. Interesting. Jeff Elliott says hi. Ben Eng says, what's going on? Awesome. The kid is alright says, sup everyone again. Yeah, I feel bad because it seemed like everyone was having some good conversations in there. I saw some people were talking about having beers early. This camera is tilting. I don't know if it's going to make it throughout the rest of this live stream today. So I'm struggling on all sorts of fronts. What better time to crack open the beer for today. Today, I'm drinking a beer from Revolution Brewing. They've already been on the live stream before in terms of a happy hour beer. But before we left Chicago, we stocked up on some beers, and my wife bought like a mix-a-pack. It's like a variety pack, not like a mix of 6. But she did that, and this is one of them. We got a super chat coming in from Ricardo Katagiri. Awesome. For better pizza / ramen. Cheers, man. Thank you so much. I'll drink to that. Cheers. I'll open this one up. Cheers to you. Cheers to everybody out there. Happy hour. Happy Thursday. Awesome. I did have ramen noodles for lunch today, as did the girl. So very, very fitting. Very fitting. But this is a Stratasphero, and I think I spelled it wrong on the other live stream that I had set up. But it's one of the IPAs that Revolution Brewery makes, and I think they make great IPAs. And it's with Strata hops, and so it's pretty tasty. You know, to be honest, though, I'm going to be real honest, I'm not sure that I'll be able to taste a difference between, like, if someone gave me this in, like, a pint glass versus the regular Anti-Hero. I'm not sure that I'd be able to tell a difference. This tastes slightly less bitter and slightly sweeter to me, but I could just be very excited to be having beer right now. And then maybe that's why it tastes so sweet. All right, what's everyone else got going on? Brian Ferran says, really taken off the last few years, Michael. Lots of good microbreweries now. That's awesome. That's very cool to see. Good to see. I mean, in a country that already has great beer culture, it's good to see that there's variety that's not being like excluded and being like embraced. So that's pretty cool. My mom's here. Hi, Mom. How are you? Ramon Galicia says, hello. Had a great, easy 5K this morning, and now I have an Irish ale in hand. All right. That's cool. Martha says, there you are. Sorry about that, Martha. She says, we keep ourselves entertained when you're not there to guide the combo. Awesome. Very cool. Very cool. I love seeing them. That's awesome. I mean, if I were more astute, I would have said that, I was just checking in and watching you guys and just kind of enjoying the community that you guys have, but I wasn't. I just had technical difficulties to explain, and I don't think I explained it. So what happens sometimes is if you make a scheduled live stream in YouTube from one device and then go and try to start it on another device, a lot of times it won't find that you had scheduled a live stream. I don't know why that is. It's super frustrating. But it's happened to me a couple of times before. That's why I've been kind of making the thumbnails with the handwriting, because I do that on the iPad. And so I've been making the thumbnails, taking the photo with the iPad, putting like the happy hour, like the writing on it, and then scheduling it from the iPad. And that's how things worked before. Now I think I'm just going to have to make a step of like taking the photo on this camera, sending it to the iPad, writing on it, sending it back to this computer down here, so that way I can get it settled. So there's got to be an easier way, but I'll figure out my workflow. We'll get there eventually. Harry Hughes says, cheers from Birmingham, UK. Having a nice spiced rum and Coke as we speak. Cheers, man. Oh, that's awesome. I don't think I've had a rum and Coke in a very long time. That sounds delicious. Jeff Elliott says, orange mango spindrift here at the moment, not beer. That sounds delicious, though. I don't know what that is, but it sounds so tasty. Pablo Cadeno's coming in from Miami. Bert Lagas, any Belgians in the room who want to provide Kavuzi with real beer? Yeah. I'm not going to pass any like beer drinkers like litmus test or anything like that. I kind of like what I like to drink at the moment, and it changes. For the longest time, my favorite beer was Newcastle, which I still think is a pretty tasty beer. But I feel like the world's taste, the palate has changed a little bit. I'm going to adjust the light just a little bit. It felt like it was too bright. But yeah, so I've never been like the most sophisticated beer drinker, kind of like the way I like my food. I'm more of a let's balance quantity and quality, kind of guy. So that's where I stand on kind of most things. All right, Patrick Fung. Okay, here you are. Sorry about that. I'm glad you made it. Kurt Steege says, just remembered now you're in Iowa Taco Pizza. I'm looking forward to it. So we're trying to lay low for a couple of weeks just to make sure that we didn't accidentally or inadvertently bring anything here from Chicago. We bought one of those temperature things that you can you instantly get it. And I'm like, why did it take a pandemic for us to buy one of the infrared thermometers? It wasn't cheap. Certainly a regular thermometer is cheaper, but I got 2 kids. I could take their temperature in their sleep, and it was just amazing to use. Hopefully they're accurate, but I compulsively thermometer everyone in the family all the time. It's really fun, but that's what we've been doing. So we're kind of chilling out, not doing interacting with too much of the local kind of population here. But there is at least one local pizza place in town. I had the pizza from there before. It's pretty good. I don't know if they make taco pizzas. There's also a Casey's, which I don't know if you guys are familiar with Casey's, but there's a Casey's here, which is a gas station, but also it's kind of for a lot of rural towns, it's a little bit of everything. It's the place where you get fast food. You might get light groceries there. You'll get gas there for sure, but it serves as a major community hub, and they make really good breakfast pizza. Good's not the right word. It's delicious to eat for breakfast pizza, but I don't know if they make a taco. But I would love to see if the local pizza place makes a taco. I'm very curious. I suppose I could just look it up on the internet. I assume they have a website. I'm actually not sure, but we'll see. We may eventually, depending on how things go, we may go and then from here go hang out and live with my in-laws for a little bit. My mother-in-law and father-in-law have decided that they're going to stay home a little bit longer, even though the rest of the state is opening up. So we're well, it seems like all of us have kind of been away from or going to be away from each other for a long time. Let's reshuffle the deck in terms of a quarantine dream team. Because then we could have kids could have time with grandma and grandpa. The running is still good over there too, and it could be kind of awesome. So we're seeing what we think about that. Once that all kind of gets settled, then taco pizza. And then we could have taco pizza on the live stream. Now that would be a special guest. That would be a very special guest. Carlos Ceja says, what's your weekly mileage? Carlos, that's a good question. I think my weekly mileage up here is going to be over 70 miles a week just because I'm in it's like a buffet over here. Just all you can eat. And I'm not worried about being around other people. There's not other runners. I haven't seen another runner yet, and I've run 70-something miles here so far. I've seen some other people I see cars, and I've seen some other people on the road. I saw a woman at one of the farms nearby weed whacking the hill by the ditch. But I waved to her. I kept my distance. And then I saw a family of people in a gator, one of those gas-powered gas-powered golf cart kind of things. And then I didn't see the people, but like they were out because I was getting chased by a dog, and they were trying to call the dog back. It was a puppy. It was a big puppy, super happy puppy. I wasn't scared about it at all. But yeah, so those are like the only people I've seen in like the last 4 days in terms of like when I'm running. So I'm ready to run a lot and just have a lot of fun doing it. So this week I'll probably hit somewhere between 70 and 75. So that's gonna be the mileage. And I'm getting a lot of hill work in, which I kind of am starting to like. I never thought I would say that, but I'm kind of really liking it here. Galvin says, others from Belfast, Thirsty Thursday. Awesome. Kiddo's All Right says, cheers, everyone, with a big glass of water in hand. Awesome. That's cool. Stevie76 coming in with the ABV for the beer here. He says 7.2%, but this can says 6.8% alcohol for this Stratasphero. But it's tasty. I do think it's less bitter than the Anti-Hero. I could just be remembering it incorrectly. I had an Anti-Hero yesterday, I think, or 2 nights ago, and I thought it was a little bit more bitter than this. This is tasty. But I remember the first time I saw this. So they made all these. So Anti-Hero was one of their flagship beers from Revolution, and it became like a theme. So they've been iterating on that hero theme, and Stratasphero is one of them. They have a Citra Hero, which is so delicious. It's probably one of my favorite of the heroes. That one's made with Citra hops. I had that one, I think, Sunday night. It was so good. But because they're all like something hero, they made them into like comic book characters. And so like the box, like the variety pack box, it looks like a comic book cover. And I'm just like, I don't know how this doesn't run afoul of some sort of like marketing rule of like an alcoholic or like an age restricted product, and like advertising that would appeal to like kids and stuff. But like, I think these cans are great because they all look like superheroes. And like each one of the different heroes has a different can design and different color scheme. It's pretty cool. I like it a lot. I really like it a lot. But whenever I buy it, I'm like, this makes me very uncomfortable. Like the juxtaposition of like, oh, this is like something like my nephews would really enjoy, and like, but the contents are something that I enjoy. And it's a little bit too close for me, but overall, it's tasty. Enjoy responsibly, of course. Let's see what else we got here. Lewis Cameron says, Casey sounds like the Sheets of Iowa. I'm not sure. I'm not familiar with Sheets. I'm going to have to look that up. Oh, you know what we could do? Let's look up Sheets. Let me look it up first, just in case something weird shows up on my browser. But we can do the... oh, yeah, here we go. Let's take a look at this. So we got Sheets, made to order, food, looks like kind of like... Awesome. Yeah, Casey's is just like this, where it's like it's a gas station. It's like the Five and Dime or like the Woolworths, like from decades ago. But yeah, that's definitely what Casey's is like. Let me look up Casey's to see if what shows up when I look up Casey's.com. Yeah, here we go. So here's Casey's. Look at this. I love this feature. We're making use of like this feature here. So Casey's, they like pizzas are one of the things that they're well known for. They make like sandwiches and stuff as well. But yeah, taco pizza. There it is. They make taco pizza. It's awesome. But I love Casey's. I think it's great. It's kind of like 7-Eleven or Wawa if you're on the East Coast, but like like one order of magnitude, like just more in terms of what they offer that's not fuel related, right? And so like normally you would think of like gas station pizza and you'd be like, I don't know. This is actually pretty good for gas station pizza. And in a lot of very small towns in the Midwest here, it's probably the best pizza in town. No disrespect to any of like the local places, but like their distribution chain is phenomenal. Someone that I went to high school with, I think, works with or consults they consult for Come and Go, which I think is the funniest name for a gas station chain. But I thought he was doing work for Casey's as well. I'll have to reach out to him and see which was the case. But like just the amount of logistics that go to it, I don't know, I nerd out over stuff like that. My wife and I both do. But like the amount of logistics that goes into supplying some of these very, not remote, but like not that populated areas with the variety of stuff they do at the level of quality that they can maintain is pretty fascinating. All right, that's enough about taco pizza though. But there is a case, I could walk to the Casey's. So once I feel like we're clear to like do that, maybe Monday mukbang is going to be taco pizza extravaganza. I think that's coming. Oh, I'm so excited. All right. Very cool. Very cool. Martha says, like the rotating exhibit of shoes behind. Yeah, I thought that, like I brought like a dozen pairs of shoes. So I can only do 2 pairs of shoes like so many times. But I do anticipate picking up a couple of pairs of shoes while I'm here. And I brought probably more shoes than I thought I might run in over the course of the summer because of the fact that my wife knows someone who is like organizing a sort of charity drive where they're sending shoes to another place. Like they're collecting shoes and they're going to send them to a place that doesn't have access to shoes. I don't know if it's a foreign country or just a different region in this country or exactly the details, but my wife is like, bring all the shoes. So I have a whole bunch of other shoes that have been sitting in my like Salvation Army donation pile that I brought also, like another 6 pairs of shoes that are here. So like we'll be able to like, as I like run through this one and run through this one, those will all get donated too. So I feel pretty good about it. It'll be a little bit more of a direct like correlation to people that need either like running shoes, boots, or like sandals, like that kind of thing. So I'm pretty excited about that. But I think like mixing it up a little bit is cool. And then I thought about what I want to do here. I was thinking about, trying to put up a medal. But someone was commenting or messaged me on Instagram and was like, love like the new kitchen downstairs, or maybe there was a comment in one of the live streams, but they were saying his wife missed the kids art. So I'm thinking maybe I'll just like wallpaper this wall with some kids art just to make it feel more like the regular kind of set. I feel like that makes sense to me. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Let's see, Ricardo Katagiri. Is there any follower of the channel that lives in the town you are staying now? There might be. So there is another YouTuber that lives in this small town, and we used to follow each other a long time ago. Her channel is like family homeschooling type stuff, but like I ran into her at the Casey's like 5 years ago or 4 years ago or something like that. Back when I had like 400 subscribers or something like that. So it was a long time ago. So I guess that was like 3 years ago. I'm not sure what her situation is. I haven't like checked in with her in a long time. Other than that, I don't know if she's still making videos or not. Other than that, I don't think so. Judging by the Strava heat map, I don't think that there is. But I did look up some segments in the area, and the closest ones I could find are on the Heritage Trail, which I've done some running on. You guys might have seen some of the videos that I made about that trail. And there's a couple of local colleges that they run on. I start on the west end of it. It's 25 miles later, there's an east end of it, and like that's near where some of the local colleges are. And so I just started following like a whole bunch of like the Loris College is one of them. Loris College, like cross country team dudes. I don't know that they run in this area, like in Guttenberg, but they're somewhere around here, and those dudes are fast. They're super fast. So I don't know what division Loris would be. They're probably Division 3, maybe Division 2, but I'm guessing Division 3. But even then, they're like really fast guys. So like those segments, I won't be able to get. But there are no segments in the town where I'm in, so I'm thinking that I might try and create some, and then see how long of a segment I can make. Like, can I make like an 8 mile long segment in Strava? I don't think Strava will let me, but we'll see what I can do in terms of like some different routes and stuff. Yeah. So the another thing is I don't know how much I'm allowed to talk about it, and I also like really bad at like keeping track of like what I'm getting as a result of being a tester. But I'm testing some stuff for Strava. It's not like I'm like the only one. I think there's a large group of people that are testing a whole bunch of features in Strava. And one of the benefits I got was they gave me a free subscription for a year, but I'm like testing a variety of things. But there's a couple of cool things in segments. And every once in a while I get an email saying, hey, test out these things or check out these things. See how they work. Let us know if you have any issues with them. A lot of them I haven't been able to test because there's no like data to look at. There's no like other people in the area to like compare to, or like to see how their results are looking, and so like we'll see how successful I am as a Strava tester, but we'll see. There's some fun stuff coming, and I think that so I think I'm going to become like I think I don't know that I'm the only person that runs around here, but I think that I will have a majority of any like segment crowns or whatever they're called. I don't remember what they're called, but it should be fun. We'll see. All right. Yeah. CJ Cruz says, please allow editing of treadmill run metrics for Strava. Ooh, yeah, that's a good one. You know what? You know what's interesting is like on Polar, what I love about the Polar one is that, like, not to make this like a Polar ad, but they let you like trim and stuff. And I know they let you trim on stuff, but did they not let you? I thought they allowed trimming even on mobile. Like there was like the thing, like if you forgot to like end your activity and you got in the car and started driving away, there was a way that you can edit that and chop that part off on mobile. So that must not be available just for treadmill runs. Let's see. Spence says, speaking of Strava, just signed up for a subscription. What is relative effort? How does it work? So I think that the relative effort, I haven't dived too deeply into it, but I think what it does is it looks at like all of your activities, your paces, and your heart rates to the extent that you have them in the app, and says like how much did this work you, you know? And so it's kind of like a lot of the watches I think have something that's like detraining, maintaining, and overtraining. Like that's something that exists in Polar, and Garmin has like a similar system as well. I think that's kind of what it's trying to tell you, what it's doing. I think it'll be useful for when you're like running. If all your runs are kind of the same, then they all should just be the same in the middle. In that middle, like there's 3 tiers. But it'll be useful if you have like a recovery run to make sure you did a recovery run in terms of like the data that's come in if your effort is lower than usual. So your effort should be lower than usual because you're trying to recover. So that's one of the ways that you'll be able to use that as far as I understand it so far. Let's see. Which has a better accommodating fit, the Endorphin Pro or the Meta Racer? Ooh, I love the fit of the Meta Racer, but I think it's a bit snug. I think that the Endorphin has a very good upper. That might be the more accommodating fit. There might be a little bit more room in there, and also like the material is not quite as like tough. They're both supportive, but I feel like the Meta Racer's upper is a little bit like thicker or more robust. I don't know if you guys saw it, but I got an email yesterday. Like not I got an email, but like an email went out from Saucony yesterday. Talking about the MH2. Did you guys see that? I ended up passing on it because I'd never heard of it before. But they described the MH2 as a Freedom, but with like a racing upper and I think a slightly different midsole material. And then I looked at what the MH1 was, and it was the Freedom, but without like the hint of stability that Saucony likes to put in their shoes, and the Type A8 foam, which is like their racing foam. And it's a shoe that like, apparently, well, they said that Molly Huddle runs in it. Whether that's true or not, I'm not sure. I haven't looked at her shoes close enough to verify that. I always thought she was running in the Endorphins, but yeah. So that came out yesterday, and then I looked at it again. Like I saw the email like last night, and I looked at it this morning. I couldn't find a listing for men, so I don't know if it's a women's only shoe, and then or maybe it's sold out, and so there's just no men's to look at. But now I'm kind of wishing that I had bought it. But I have a Freedom 3 video coming out tomorrow, but to spoil it a little bit, it wasn't my favorite shoe. But the things I don't like about it, I think would have been fixed by the MH2. And it had an upper. It was like it did a sole swap. Like the upper material from the Endorphin, but put on a Freedom. But it still had like that heel stuff in the back. So it was a weird hodgepodge shoe. Yeah. Yeah. So Kurt Siege says, yeah, the Molly Huddle 2. Oh, MH2. Yeah, it makes sense. MH2, it was a cross between the Freedom and another shoe. Yeah. She said in the past that the plates don't work for her. At least Saucony's didn't. All right. And Lewis says women's only. Okay. So at least I didn't like miss out on it. But yeah, I thought like the upper was great on the Endorphin. And so like I wish like I would love to see like a Convara with that upper on it. Because like I just think that all the Saucony shoes this year, not including the Endorphins, but all like the regular Saucony shoes, the uppers are all going to be hot. And so like if you live in a hot area, I just feel like, yeah, I don't know that I would want that. but like the upper material that's on the endorphin, it holds you in, but it's very thin and it's very breathable. So yeah, that was a long answer to that question. Sorry about that. Yeah. So let's see what else we got here. Piet Johnson says, "Hey Kofuzi, I took your advice to go for some 1080 V10s over a set of Vomeros, and I'm loving them. Put about 25 miles in them, ultra soft." Yeah, I think that all day I would take that 1080 V10 over the Vomero 14. The Vomero 14, I think, is very much like in the spectrum of like if you've got like max cushion over here and just like robust daily trainer. The Vomero 14 is on like the robust daily trainer, which is kind of like what I would recommend for taller, heavier runners as a daily trainer. But I don't necessarily recommend like a super max cushion shoe as like a daily trainer for even heavier runners. But the 1080 V10 I think is like still closer towards like a daily trainer, but a really good max cushion shoe that I like. So yeah, I'll take that. And I'm glad it's working out for you. Patrick Funk said, "How's the Kofuzi Run Club on Strava coming?" Oh, I totally forgot about doing that today. Thinking of subscribing so that I can follow along. But is it worth subbing if I run on the treadmill half the year? You know, I don't think that you will have to pay for a subscription to join the groups, right? Because if that's the case, then I don't think that I'll do a run club. But I'll look into it for sure. But I think that you can sign up for an account for free still, and I think that you'll be able to participate in the. Before I say that, let me check on that first. But yeah, that's hope. That's the goal. That's the hope. All right. Carla says, what's your half marathon PB? I think it's like 126 something. It was last year at the last year's Chicago half marathon. I don't remember exactly. It wasn't 125. But it was close. It was in 126 something, maybe 126.30 something. I'm not sure. I'll have to go look that up. But it's somewhere in that range. Richard Smart says, "Watching from Texas. Thanks for showing the sights of Chicago on your runs. Beautiful." Oh, thanks. Awesome. Yeah, I miss it very much already. But at the same time, I don't miss like the way I felt like I had to run over there. Here, just there's no people, so I could just run like normal and pretend like nothing's wrong with the world when I'm running out there. So it's been really nice. I was looking through some footage yesterday of my runs over the last month, and I was just like, that was not a great way to run. I was enjoying running, but it was hard. It was a struggle for me. I think other people are dealing with it fine. I was having a real hard time with it. Yeah, Frank LaHulia says, like, you might have to have a subscription in Strava, though, to see where you are in the leaderboard past top 10. Yeah, I think that might be the case. But I'm going to try and figure out a way to make, like, that area. What I envision with that is to make that more like, I don't want to do a Discord because I don't really use Discord. But I'd like to use that as like kind of like a little, and I don't like Facebook groups. So I'm thinking of that I will use it more that way as a way to communicate with the people that are here, and do more posts and stuff there. I don't know if I can make the posts like only appear in the group because I don't necessarily need them to go out to like everybody, but I would love to be able to, like, I think that's how they work, right? So like I'll have to look and play with it more, but that's kind of how I'm envisioning it. So I want the benefit of it to not be like looking at like our own leaderboards, but more just a different way for people to connect. Some people like to listen to it on podcasts. Some people like to participate in the live stream. I just want to make sure everyone has like a different way that they can participate in the community in terms of things that I'm already doing. I'm already on Strava. I'm already looking at it. I'm already listening to podcasts. I'm already watching YouTube, that kind of thing. So like that's the way that I like to consume and participate in the community. And so I know that there's people that do their own thing and do it in their way. And I want to make sure that everyone has like something available to them. Patrick Funk says, "I'm in for sure." Awesome. Marielle says, "Hi, just tuning in before going to bed. How are you doing? Just bought 2 pair of shoes. It's addictive. Asics Nova Blast and Wild Horse 6. Awesome. Very cool. Very cool. How's it going, Marielle? I just ran into Asics Nova Blast today, and I'll tell you that I really enjoy them in the terrain out here because we've got some not very long, but short, but relatively steep, at least steep for me, inclines and declines. And so like the super squishiness of the shoe is coming in very much handy and very much appreciated on these runs. So I've been liking that. The Wild Horse 6, I think that even for where I'm running now, it might be more like trail shoe than I need. So I think I'm going to pass on that one for this year. But that sounds like fun. Wild Horse and Nova Blast. That's a good pair of shoes. Or a pairs of shoes. Yeah. Nathan, the workaround that Mike found out a year ago doesn't work anymore. Oh, okay. Yeah. Lots of things are getting closed off, especially in Strava. Let's see. Cohen says, "Do you think you can break your 126 with all the low intensity training?" I mean, the answer is a no, but yes. So the idea being like, I don't think that I can do pure methadone. That just doesn't work for me. But I'm not sure what pure methadone really means anymore, right? Because I just finished listening to Iron War, another Matt Fitzgerald book, and it's about David Scott and Mark Allen, and their Ironman battles, and methadone not figures prominently, but his name pops up a couple of times because Mark Allen was like the first pro to really train under Matt Fitzgerald's techniques. And the way that Matt Fitzgerald, and they don't really dive into it too much, but the way that they explain what Matt Fitzgerald was saying was that like he was going to do the majority of his training at a certain low heart rate, which for Mark Allen at the time was 155 beats per minute. And then as races got nearer, then he would do very specific high-intensity training, which sounds a lot like the book that Matt Fitzgerald would later write years later called 80-20. And is what's very similar to what I've been doing. I don't know if that still counts as low heart rate or methadone style training. I think it does, but maybe it does or maybe it doesn't. I don't know. But what I do think that the low heart rate training enables me to do is have very high mileage as a kind of my baseline. And then when it comes time to prepare specifically for a race, I have like a lot of durability and endurance like built up that I can throw like a whole bunch of intensity at it. And I feel like my body can absorb, not only just withstand it and survive it, but also absorb it and turn that into adaptations and strength. So I'm hoping that I can beat 125.5. I don't know that I'll race a half marathon before my next 3-hour marathon attempt. So the next time, my next half marathon PR will hopefully happen during a marathon. Although, I don't know, to think that I can go to make another realistic 3-hour attempt at the 3-hour marathon after months of the way the world is now. I'm not sure. I think the first marathon might just be kind of a victory lap celebration kind of race and come in at 3:15, 3:30 kind of thing, which is not that different from my previous failed 3-hour marathon attempts. But anyway, so that's kind of what I'm thinking. So we'll see. I think the possibility is there with my training, whatever it's called, whatever you want to call it. Lewis Cameron says, "Co, you ever think about going after some FKTs?" Yeah, there's one. I don't know what the FKT is, but I would like to run the Heritage Trail. I was just talking about it a little while ago. That's a trail. It's a former rail line. It's relatively flat. And to the extent that there is grade, for the most part, it's very even because it used to be for trains. And from Dubuque, Iowa to Dyersville, Iowa, there's 25 miles of the Heritage Trail. And I don't know what the FKT is on it for a runner. Keeping in mind that there is a local college and high school teams in the area. But I don't think that high school and cross country runners are running 25-mile FKTs. So I don't know if the FKT is for that. Maybe just if. All right. I think we're back. All right. So let's see. I think we're back. But anyway, I don't know how much of that you guys caught. Hopefully you caught most of it. But I don't know what the fastest known time is. I'm going to actually look that up because I think before the end of this summer, I am going to try to run whichever way the FKT is, either from west to east or east to west, and try to run the whole thing. I mean, it shouldn't be a problem because it's 25 miles, so that's doable in and of itself. But a lot of it isn't covered from sun, so it can get really hot. So it'd have to be pretty early in the morning, I think. And we'll have to see how fast I have to run to do it. So, yeah, but that'll be kind of fun. So that might be like my only like race or time trial, in these kind of quarantine times. All right. But I think with that, I think I'm going to let it go because I think the internet is just like, it works. It does its best. And I think after a while, it just gets tired here. And so I think this is a good place to leave it for today. Thanks everyone for tuning in. I had so much fun talking to all you guys today. And I'm sorry about the head fake with that other scheduled live stream and having to come over here. Thank you again for all your patience as I figure out 4 years into this, 5 years into this, as I still figure out YouTube. Thanks so much for that. I'm going to finish this beer because there's still a little bit left. I'm enjoying it. Happy Thursday. Happy hour to you guys. Hope you guys are staying safe out there on your runs. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.